If
Okay.
there is some question, maybe they can read it, but I can see that Dr. Nahid attached the.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, also as well. That's probably the only comment actually.
Mm.
Uh, then there were like few more maps that were like posted by Tadela, and then there was
Mm.
like Mabio
Mm.
that was asking for
Yeah.
clarification
Oh,
probably.
okay. Okay. Shall I start now?
Yeah, so it's 10 minutes past 12, so I suggest we start. Yeah, Muna is giving her green light, so
Okay.
that's fine.
Great.
Please,
Thank you.
Binyam.
Okay. Thank you. Good. So let me share my screen again here. Have you started the recording already? Maybe.
Yes, I did. So
Yeah.
please.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Benjamin.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So let me start again. Welcome back with this afternoon session. So let's see first. The only file that I see here is to Dr. Knights, but I think some others already sent before lunchtime. So if you have now, you can share us, but we can talk about those kind of maps. Okay, the first maps. So for example, if you see this one, according to this cartographic standard, something like that, we can say this white space is quite, it takes quite large portion of the area or the paper, so that we have to fill the whole area, and the map should cover the largest portion of the paper. So that is one kind of standard, okay? And the other thing is there are some on data that's missed in the map, and some other portions which are not as such uh, more important than this one. They are not as such more important, but we have to fit this one in the middle. So let's see how we can make such kind of correction, and then we will start with that. Okay, so let's open QGIS and let's open the layout that we produced, project layout and intro one. So here in my case, if you see, it fills the whole area, and you can drag with it a little bit just to give a certain space for a grid, and the scale is 10 million, and you can see all the data here. There is no any missed part, or especially related to the catchment, so it has to be centered. And even to move this one, you see, it moves only the map, but to move the actual data from place to place, you have to use this one. You have to use move item content instead of move item. So these are two different buttons which are very important, especially in map production in QGIS. So this move item. So this move item, it moves the item as a whole without changing the data's location, okay? But this one is move item. You can click this one. So move item content. So the content. So you can drag it. So most of you have maybe like this, like this somewhere here, or hidden, some part is hidden. So you can drag using map item, move item content, move item content. So you can drag it without changing the scale, so you can make the actual data at the center, at the center. So these are the two main important buttons in creating the map in QGIS layout. Okay, I hope you can see it. You can see this one here: move item content and move item and move item. So to change the paper size, you have to click in the white space here with this, actually with this button, not with this move item content. You have to change it. So you have to change the paper here, and you have to be here. And to move the item content, you have to use this button. Okay. Good. So that is, I think, what I have seen from your maps. You can move the item from somewhere here to the center, Now let's add a north arrow for your map. So this is add north arrow. So click north arrow and put the north arrow somewhere at the corner. Then after you drag it somewhere there, you can see here to change the arrows. So you can click arrows and you can change the arrow type. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, so when you see it, it's changed. So you can click on it and you can click arrow and you can change the arrow. Okay? Now I changed that. So that is north arrow. Okay, north arrow. So whenever you want to change something or to customize some property of north arrow, you have to click on north arrow. To change the map or some property of the map, like scale, you have to click the map itself, map 1, and then you can change the scale. And if you want to change the paper size, you have to click on the paper, and then you can change. So that is a procedure normally here in producing map in QGIS. It's very easy, but a bit tricky. You have to click all the time to the actual item you want to change. And the other thing is a scale bar. So you can add a scale bar here. So you can drag at the bottom and you can see like this, or you can move it to the place you want. Okay. So when you see it, it might not be readable. So that you have to make it readable. So click on it. And then you see now the property is changed to the scale bar property. So main properties, units. So the scale bar unit, by default, it will give you a kilometer. Then here also it is kilometer, but you have some other options. Okay, map units, kilometers, feet, miles. You want, so you can change. And this is a label for units. So normally it has to be in a small letters with km. Okay, km, and you can see km here. But now when you see it, it's not such a readable. So you have to change the size. So this is about the units. Okay, and you have to change here the font. So you can see units display, and here the font. You see the font, it has to be increased. You see, you can change the font. I changed the font to 25 to make it more readable. So display, you have to go to display. Okay, you are in a scale bar. Let's say you have to click on it, and you can see you can shrink these buttons, and then you have to go to display, and then you have to see here a font, and it says 25. So for A3 paper, is 25 is appropriate or not? You have to identify, and let's say 20, and the color is black, okay? And if you want to make it bold, and it is like this. But if you want to increase the size, you can drag it like this. So you see with this one. And sometimes it is not still readable. So the background color, we can make the background color white like this and put at the bottom like this to fix with this one. So you can try to make a scale bar like this at the bottom, okay? So you have to click this add scale bar, and you have to assign a place where to put and click on it and change the scale bar unit as you want. If you want, for example, in miles, then in miles, and you can drag, okay? You can see it with this. Now, when you change it to miles, the size becomes very small. So instead of fixed widths, you have to change it, fit segment width 50 miles, 150 miles, you see. It depends, depends on, you can change, okay, or fixed width with 100, or let's say 200, okay, and drag to this direction. So this is with miles, okay? Or you can also change with kilometer again, and km, and this is 500. So fixed width 250, or you can make with, let's say 300. It depends. You can change. Okay, like this. So you have to click on the scale bar, okay, to change something or to change the properties. So to change the display, font is here under display. Font is here, font. Size is 20. And the width, fixed width 300. If you want to change with 200, it is like this. And if you want to have or to change the background, you see, you can check in. It will change it to white. Yeah. So this is a way to change a scale bar or to add a scale bar. And a very important point is legend. So click on the legend, and you can add it here at the bottom, for example. So when you see it, it will give you all the layers here which are checked, okay? All the layers here. And you can see it here, auto update, and you can see a legend item. So this is legend now. When you click scale bar, it is a scale bar. When you click the map, it is map. When you click north arrow, it is picture. So when you click the white portion of the background, it is a paper. And when you click here, it is a legend. So that is a very basic thing in creating maps in QGIS. Sometimes people say it is very tough, and ArcGIS layout is much better than QGIS, but if you understand this, especially clicking and changing the properties here, really QGIS layout is preferable from my side. So it is very nice way of presenting your map. So if you want to remove some of, let's say, some of the legend items, you can uncheck this and you can remove whatever you want, okay? Here. Of course, you have to uncheck it here before going or before coming to this mapping. You have to uncheck it first here. And then you will not find it, of course, here. But if you need, you have to uncheck this auto update. And then you can remove anything you want from here. Let's say you can click on it and then click this minus sign. And then you can remove it. So it is removed from the list. Okay, from the list. If you want to add, you can add from the list of layers, okay? List of layers here, okay. Now it is added here. It is added here. And if you want to move it in the legend here, in the legend, you cannot move it directly from this picture, but you can move from this legend items list. Then you can move it up. So this is just to make it, to move it up and down. Move it up and down. Okay. So now we have the legend, we have the north arrow, we have the scale bar. Okay, we have the item with 10 million scale. Please try to exercise this and let's see. At least let's see one person who finished this part, adding the layout, adding the scale bar, the legend, and north arrow. Or if you have any question, please let me know or type it here in the chat box. I'm waiting for one person to share us and then discuss based on that. So to share us, you have to export it like to PDF or to JPG, okay? So for example, here you have to export it to PDF. This is map 2, intro 1, map 2, okay? Then save. Okay, it is PDF, so we cannot, okay, the previous, okay, it was JPG. So that just for sharing purpose, of course, you can keep this PDF, but for sharing purpose here, map to, okay, JPG. It's 300 dpi, it's a bit big size, so let's make it 150. 150 still okay. Almost, especially for publishing companies, they require at least 150 dpi, so that's okay. It's, yeah. So you can share it here. So you can share like this. Okay, I was expecting one, but still no, but let me continue. So here, it's a legend, so you can also add a title for this. So let's say a text box, you can add a text box here, and you can type it here, for example. This is, let's say, Eastern Nile, EN. Eastern Nile subbasins, subbasins map, or you can give any name. Okay, so this is a what I choose as a title. Okay, or Eastern Nile subbasins map. So you can change the font here for the title. Let's make it 25. And even some bold. Can make it like this. So you can leave it as it is, or in the previous session we have seen the draw buffer, so you can make it like this. So Eastern Nile subbasins map as a title, okay? As a title. So you can add more on it. So we added some very basic elements. So the legend, scale bar, nose arrow, title, like this. But if you want to add some other texts, it's possible. If you want to add some pictures, you can add picture, okay, from the from your directory or from your computer. And the other very important point in creating maps is grid. So you can click on this, or actually you have to click on the map, not on the legend or the north arrow or somewhere like this, because you will not find the properties here. If you click this title, if you click this title of the map, or if you click the title of the north arrow, you will not get about grid. So you have to click the map to get grid or to customize the grid. So shrink this button and you can see grids. And then you have to click this plus sign button, add a new grid, Then you will see grid 1. You'll see grid 1 here in the list. And then you can modify this grid. So when you try to modify the grids, it will give you options to change the appearance, okay? To change the appearance. Okay, to change the appearance. The very important part in the appearance is interval. So the interval. So if you're using the maps coordinate system, okay, which means this, let's say, WGS84, then this will be in degree, minute, second, or in that format, okay, in degree. The interval will be in degree or degree decimal, okay. Let's say now here 5 and 5. So you will see the grids here, okay, the grids. This is a grid. So you can add a grid with 5-degree interval, 5-degree interval. Even if the data is in any kind of projection system, you can change the coordinate system, reference system for the grid, only for the grid. Okay, for the grid. Only for the grid. So if this grid is such very wide, if you think that it is very wide, then you can increase this value, let's say 10. And here, no, I mean, if it is wide, you have to decrease with, let's say, 2, okay, 2. So 2, this is quite close to each other. Let's make it 3, 3, 3. This is, I think, okay. So this is a grid. But if you want not to show, or if you want not to show this line in the grid and only the label, now when you see it, there is no label in it. So it has to be labeled here in the sides, so that here there is a draw coordinate. So there is a draw coordinate. So you may use this shrink button to get it in your screen, draw coordinates. Then you can see the coordinates in all sides, in the 4 sides, the coordinates, draw coordinates. And the line style, if you want not to show the line style, you can click simple color, and the simple color is you can change the color, but here is stroke style, no pen. You have to click no pen. Then you will not see the grid inside the map. Line style and simple line, and the stroke style is no pen or solid or dashed. So you see dashed line. There is a possibility to make it like this. So the question is it readable? Most cases, while you preparing maps, is it readable? At this scale, at this size, it is. It might not be readable, but you have to check with 1:1. You have to check with 1:1 scale. So you are going to print it in A3 paper because you choose A3 paper. But for A3 paper, it is like this. 1:1 scale is like this. So I think it is readable in 1:1 scale in A3 paper. So it is readable. But for a report purpose, it might not be readable. For that matter, you can increase the size of these coordinates, the size of the coordinates, which is here, okay? Which is here, a font. You can increase the font. Let's say 14. So you see now I increased the font. But here the legend, here at the bottom, you see the legend is beyond or goes out of the map boundary or the map frame. So you have to decrease that one, or you have to move it up. Then you can see the levels of the grids. So let me decrease this one, zoom out for the layout. Now you have to see like this in your computer, okay? You have to see like this in your computer. Let me give you some time for this as well. Any questions? Nice. Zariun sent me one file, which is great. Yes, this is what I've got from chat box. I can say that this is now, it has some limitation, or it has some error. So you cannot produce such kind of map, for example. The legend is visible, readable, but the north arrow is a bit bigger, and some data is not visible, and the scale bar is very small, and the white space takes a larger portion of the paper. You see, a larger portion of the paper is white, and the data, some of the data are not visible. You see here, and the north arrow is a bit bigger, so it has to be small, the north arrow, and the data should be at the center. and the scale bar a bit larger. That will make it a better map. But this is good, very good for exercising and for you to explain. You know, based on some error, it is really good to learn. So in his case, this grid is somewhere here, you know, I mean, the map is somewhere at the middle, and the legend is here, and it covers some portion like this, and the north arrow is very big. Okay, it's just like this, maybe something like that. So it has to be corrected. Okay, so to correct it, just click on the layout, the map, and you can drag it to fill the space, the whole space. Okay, to fill the whole space of the paper. As long as you choose the paper size, you have to fill it. As long as you choose the paper. Otherwise, if you want to show a very small size map, you have to change the paper to A4. A4. And the legend, you have to put it somewhere at the bottom as you want. But in this case, it is better to put it here. Okay. And if the data is hidden, so you can move it based on or using this button, what we call move item content button. Using move item content button, you can drag it. You can drag to this place. You can drag. Then you can see all the data. You can see all the data. And the north arrow, if it is big, you have to check this button to select it, and then decrease the size and move it to the place, like somewhere here. Or sometimes you may see in a map somewhere on top of the scale bar. Okay, like this. So you can do both. And this is the title bar, and the title, I mean the title of the map is, it can be at the center, and it can be out of the map frame. It can be out of the map frame. Here in the grid, you may see 3 decimal places, and if you want to change the decimal places, you have to click the map, and you have to go to grids, and then click grid 1 and modify grid. In this case, you can see in draw coordinate, the coordinate precision is 3, so you can make it 1. So you can see like this, or you can make it even 0. So this is 30 degrees. So it is a regional, so you can leave it as it is. So you can drag it. You'll see that. So I can export it to JPG and map 3 with a grid. And here 150 is enough. Then save. Then copy, and I can share this to you. Any questions until now? Do you have any questions? So if you want to create a new layout, let's say for each models, let's say for example for DSS, for HEC-RESIM, HEC-RAS, and HEC-HMS. So here it's the general map for all. So you can produce like that, okay, for each model. So you can close the layout, and the way to add a new layout is project new layout, okay, new layout. But before we go directly to there, we have to uncheck other model data, okay, and we can keep these catchments. In HMS, it's a catchment. So if you remove it, then you can see only the precipitation and station data, okay. So let's keep this one as it is. And now for DSS, okay, for DSS, so you can uncheck the rest and check whatever you need. Only if you want to map for era 5, only era 5 precipitation, you can uncheck the rest, only keep era 5. And then if there is a value for precipitation for each pointers, you can label them. As if you remember about yesterday's lesson, you can label them based on some values, okay. I think in millimeter, this one. And then you can label for each buffer, text this one, then okay. So now you can see the values. It's a bit bigger, but we can decrease it. Text. Yes, now if this is okay, then you can keep it. So this is era 5 precipitation data in DSS view, and then you can map only for this era 5 precipitation. So for each catchment, you may not see the values for this, but that means it has no data for this one. I think it's white Nile. Now, if you want to create a map, project, new print layout, then this is era 5 map, precipitation map. Okay, a new layout. Okay. So now let me give you some time for this, just to create a layout or a map for only for era 5 precipitation. Era 5 precipitation. Okay, Tadela, he sent me nice map, but still the data is on top left corner of top left corner of the area. Okay, so that is the data. If your intention is to show the whole area of the satellite image, that will be okay. But if your intention is to show this data, it has to be centered. Okay, it has to be centered. But this is a very good example of a map, and you even changed the color of the font and the likes and the different north arrow, and you keep even this north and easting labeling. This is good. And thank you, Tadel. Is it a question or? Okay. The font for the labels. To change the font for the labels, font size. You mean the grid labels or the actual data label? The data label or the grid label? The grid label. The actual data label. Okay. The actual data label here you can double click. For example, if you see here in era 5 precipitation, these are the values. So I labeled with the amount of precipitation. With the amount of precipitation, you can double click on it and then label. Here you can see label, and you have to choose here single labels. Okay, single labels, and you have to choose a value, and then text here. And the text you can change the size. Here it's here, so it's here. So let's make it 10, for example, or bold, and the font type, different font type. And you can also give some kind of background color using buffer. And then, okay. Now I change it to this size and different font type. Let's say if you are using this in Hecras, you can see the names are here, the city, and you can double click on it. And this is the one. Text is 14, and some academy, this one, the font type, and regular, and buffer with some different color, So you can uncheck, for example, this one. And if you want to change the color here, it's white. For the buffer, you can change with another type of color. And then, okay. See? I hope this is a question. I hope it is clear, Tadal. Is that clear? Tadal. If not, please let me know. So I asked all of you to work with this precipitation and to create a map layout. A map layout. You have to include the elements like north arrow, legend, scale bar, the title for the map, and the grid, and export it to JPG and share us here. So if it is not visible in a Word document, and if the paper size, the reason might be the paper size, the paper size you used for creating the map. If you choose a bigger size for creating a map, like let's say A0 or A1, and then if you export it to JPG, a little bit visible in your screen in QGIS, but not visible in Word document. The reason is you might choose this the bigger size of papers. Okay, so it is better if you're planning to use it in a Word document, or if you are planning to for a report purpose, for example, then you have to prepare your map with a small paper size like A4. Then it would be visible. Then it would be visible. Any other question? So this is for DSS view, for example. You can prepare Era 5 precipitation map. So here, project, new print layout, and you can type it here. But now I have already created one, this Era 5 PPT map. So it is empty, of course. You can see like this. So when you click the blank page here, it is a paper. So you have to choose paper A4 size. If it is for report, it's better A4 size, to choose A4 size, and then orientation portrait. So this is A4 size with portrait. Then you can drag with this one, this add map. You can drag it, and you can see, or you have to fill it to the whole area like this. So it is rendering the map. It is due to the Google satellite. If you remember, with A3 size, 10 million scale, sorry, was appropriate. $10 million scale was appropriate for A4, A3 size. Now we are using A4 size. So 15 million might be the appropriate one in this case. So you can change the scale. So still we have a space at the bottom and the side and top for the data. So let's make it here 12. Yes. So you can see, so we have space at the bottom, and but here it's a bit, some portion is hidden, so that we have to drag the item using move item content, using move item content. Okay. Now we have this one. So this is for the scale. So if we want to add a legend, we have to click add legend, and let's put it somewhere on top, for example, here. Still, you can see all the data is visible here, but we don't need most of them. So only we need this precipitation and HMS catchment, okay, this catchment and Google satellite. So that is the data you can see here. So area 5, the catchment, and the satellite. So here in this auto update, the legend item, you can uncheck this and you can keep area 5 and you can remove this one by clicking this minus sign button at the bottom, remove selected item. Of course, you can select using shift key to remove a number of items, legend items. You can select like this and you can keep the rest. So now you can see it here. Only the area 5 precipitation, DSS, and HMS catchment. If you don't want to see this HMS, you can remove it. And you can add only the catchment here. So you can see it here. See? Now, this is a Google satellite, HMS catchment and the area 5. But to move it up, you can use move up button. So you can see it like this. So DSS area 5 precipitation, HMS catchment, and Google satellite. So you can change like this. Okay, this is for the legend. And to add the scale bar, you can drag it here or here. Let's make it scale bar like this. So this is a default, but to change it to a different one, then you can increase the fixed width. You can increase the fixed width and the background, and you can put it somewhere here at the bottom, and you can add here a north arrow. Okay, north arrow. And the title, if it is needed, you can add, but let's leave that. You can use this text box to add a title. And the other very important element in mapping is grid. So you can click on the map first, then grid, then add button. Then you can modify the grid. Here you can change the projection, for example, in UTM. So it is a bit different than the previous one. Maybe it will give you some other values because it's a big area and covers different zones. So still it is better to show the degree minute second or degree decimal or degree minute decimal. Okay, the map unit is that one, and you can change with this. Like let's make it 5. Previously we made it 3. And if you see this frame, you can change the zebra frame. So that means this kind of frame. In some maps you may see such kind of frame. So you can change this frame to zebra. So that's called the frame style is zebra. And draw coordinates. So you can draw the coordinates. When you see the values, you can see some of them are out of the paper. So this is an error. For example, if you print it or if you export it, you may not see the values which are outside of the paper, So that's those values should be inside, okay? And to do that, one solution is to decrease the precision to make it 0 or 1. Then you can see it here, or let's make it 1, okay? So like this, okay? And sometimes you may have seen maps with, this is horizontal, but vertical levels. From the left and from the right side, you may see vertical levels. So that here it says left and right. From left and right, it says horizontal. So you can change it to vertical ascending, and the right side vertical ascending again. Then you can see the values are like vertical. The labels are vertical. And the font, if we increase the font to 15, and you can see it is visible, okay? It's visible. Okay, so now it is visible and the side values are vertical, and it is only, the map is only for Era 5 precipitation for each catchment, Then you can export it to JPG. Era 5 PPT map. Well, let's make it 1. Okay. So this is 150 is enough. So this is good for reporting, and you can add it in a Word document. Okay, in a Word document. Let's say here in my case, I have some different word processing program, which is this is in Mac. You can see it here. Then we can add a picture, insert image. Yeah, so this is how you can add in Word document. It is the same, okay? So now it is visible. Some part is not easy. Now it is visible, readable in Word document. Because I used A4 size paper. Okay? I used A4 size paper, so they are readable. Okay? They are readable. Any question? Any question regarding this? So please again do the same map like this one. Now I saved it and I can close it. Now if you see in the project, I have two layouts, one intro one, and the other one is Era 5, this one. So I can open Era intro one and then create my map or modify my map. By actually I have to click all the layers here for the case of intro one, because I need all of them to be visible there. Okay, so you'll see the layout is the same, but the data will be different. Okay, will be different. If I drag this one, so now this is included. What is included? The value of the Era 5 precipitation is included because I modified it previously. So there is a change. Okay, but the scale, the legend position, northern arrow type, all those are as they were. Okay, as they were. So you can save it and close it. But if you need to see Era 5 map, you can uncheck these parts, and then you can go to project, layout, Era 5, this map. Okay, the map that I produced. So I can save as many layout as possible in one QGIS project. Just in one QGIS project, you can save as many map as possible. That is, I think, one of the benefits of QGIS. benefits of QGIS. Please, now let me give you some exercise. Please try to create a map for HECRAS, only for HECRAS data. You have reservoirs, you have CT-RAS, and cross-section, and rivers. So with this kind of color scheme. So try to create a map for this. So let me give you some time, 10 to 15 minutes. And share us through this chat box. Of course, if you have some questions, please let me know. Okay, now I think I have 2 questions, but there is also another. Okay, great. Zariun answered the question. Where do I change the orientation of the paper? Okay. Right click on the paper and then go to the paper properties, the page to page. Great. That is actually the answer. Thank you, Zarihun. And thank you, Marnata, for the questions. Now I think it's clear. So here, project, new print layout. Maybe still let me give you some time, huh? Because when I see it here, you are working on it, which is great. So let me get at least one. Now I need at least one screenshot or one picture that is saved or exported as JPG for this one, for HECRAS. Let me wait that one. Okay, thank you, Adija, I'm not sure. Adija, I hope I pronounce it very well. Adija, thank you, Adija. So you change the background, the north arrow, the pointers, yes, a legend, KGMS, that's good. Yeah, this is good. But sometimes, that I can see, it is possible to change also the size of the pointers. Let's say for city RAS, for reservoir RAS, you can change the size, okay? You can change the size. We'll see how to change it. And the north arrow should be like at the middle of the scale bar, which is great. You can make it like that. And the data, the scale, I think you can move it a little bit up. So that means you can increase the scale. That means you can make it a bit larger scale. This is okay. This is good. Thank you. And the other one is Dr. Nahid. Please, how can I remove some of the legends? Okay, the legend, some of the legends. Let's see. Now let's start a new print layout. This is, let's say, HEC-RAS. Can you hear me? I think, yeah, I just might.
Yes, it is quite good.
Okay, HEC-RAS map. So you can create like this. And now, okay, so this is a paper size. You can click on it and then you can change the paper size. Okay, so let's make it A3 or A4. Let's make it A4 and still portrait, because the shape of the map, the data is the one which drives you to change the orientation. So portrait or landscape. If it is elongated to horizontally, then you have to put it with, or you have to change the orientation to landscape, okay? But now still portrait. So now you can drag this add map button, this one, add map. You can drag it. If you have still a space at the bottom, then you can drag it down like this. So still the scale is very small scale, and then we can change it to 12 million. So like this, so still possible, which is good. Yes, so 12 million is appropriate for effort for these basins, okay, for these basins or sub-basins altogether. But when you add a legend, that is a question actually. When you add the legend, you can see all the legends here, huh? all the layers here. So to remove the layer, you have to uncheck auto update first. You have to uncheck it. You have to uncheck it, and you have to click here and remove. Okay. HEC resim, you have to click on it and remove with this minus sign. Okay, with this minus sign, you have to remove it. Now the one that's left is the one which is okay. So if you see here, both HMS catchment, you can remove this HMS as a whole, and you can add only the layer, okay, only the layer, not the group of the layers, but only the layer. So you can see with this legend, and you can move Google satellite, for example, at the bottom with this down arrow, So now these are necessary, so you cannot remove them. If still you need a space for the legend, you can drag the actual data using this button, which is called move item content. Okay, you can drag a little bit like this. Now the legend is visible, and even the data is also visible. Okay, both of them are visible and readable. I hope I answered your question, and you can continue on your exercise. Any other question? Okay, let's continue and finishing this one. So we have okay. So we have, okay, it is not recognized, still working. Huh? That's the reason. So let's open the existing layout, which is related to a cross map. You see now, I have 3 layers. So you can have as many layouts as possible in QGIS here. Okay. So here you can open it, and we included this legend. And the other thing is North arrow. It's here. So you can add it somewhere here on the top. And the scale bar. Okay. So with this scale bar, you can change the fixed width like 500 or so you can change it here, let's say 50 millimeter feet segment width. It's 50, but this one is the one with, let's make it to 1000. So you can see, oh, the scale matters. So, you know, I was a bit confused even looking 1500 something. So the point is the scale, is the scale. This becomes 48 million scale. So it has to be 12. It has to be 12. It is slow because of the satellite image here to visualize. So now when I make it like this, so I can change it to 200. Now this is a proper one, or 300. So this is proper. So when you see the data, it is somewhere there. So I have to drag it towards here. To drag it, I have to use this move item content. So I can drag it up and wait a little bit and make it at the center. Okay. So now this is okay. So still working. So you have to be patient normally while you are creating this. It might not respond quickly, so that we have to be patient for that. Sometimes it depends on your computer performance, or it depends on what you've clicked, or it depends on the data you zoomed in, or it depends on the data you have added in your map. So that might be some pointers that makes delay on your work. So now it's still, it says for me, it says map one. So let me save it and close it and reopen it again, the layout. So let me see it again. So I have to wait a little bit. Now click, now it's in the scale bar. So here you have to change the background, see, like this. And I have this one, the last one is grid. So we have to incorporate this grid. So grids, add a grid. So this is very important. And then click on grid one and then modify grid. And the map you need is the map coordinate system or GCS WGS84. And here variation with 5 was very good. So let's keep this one. And the frame, you can change it to the zebra. Okay. Or here, if the frame size is a bit bigger for your map, you can decrease it to 1. And you can shrink the frame and draw coordinates. And some texts are out of the paper. It's not printable. And decimal place are 3. So the left and the right side of the labels could be vertical, which is appropriate, right and left one. Sometimes you may see even only on top and to the right, not on the left and the bottom. Or sometimes you may see a map with the left and the bottom label only, and removed in this top and right part. So you can here show all here in the left side, you can disable, so it's not visible there. And at the bottom, you have to go to the bottom and check here, show all, and disable. So you can disable the left and the bottom part. Only you can keep these two, because sometimes they are enough for the map. So you may have seen some maps only on top and the right, or left and the bottom. So this is how you can create such kind of map, okay? Or it is possible to use this disable. You can disable it and show all. And for the bottom, show all. And you can disable for the right one and top. So now I can see only from the left and the bottom. From left and the bottom. So let's keep this one as it is, and decimal 1. And the font is not as such readable. So let's change it to 14. So now it is visible, readable, Northern row, grid, and the legend, and the scale bar. And of course, you can add some text, title of the map and the likes. Okay, and you can save this one, and you can export it to JPG, a cross map 1, and save it with 150 DPI. Save, and it will be saved. So it is here, and you can copy it and share it to the concerned person. Okay. Yeah. So here you will see the map. Okay. I hope it is clear. Everything is okay. And if you have any question on this map production in QGIS, please let me know. And I think let me fill this form. Huh? Okay, Tadela. Nice, very nice map. But add a grid for this map and decrease at least the north arrow vertically. It's a bit longer so that decrease the size. Except that everything is okay. Yeah, good. Thank you. So we can add at least a grid on this one. And another thing with grid. Great. Thank you, Tadel.
Binia, if I can comment on the maps, which is basically, QGIS is useful for many things. One can be like simple creation of a spatial database, which might be needed for multiple purpose. One one aspect is to perform a spatial analysis. I mean, like interpolation, or if you want to see what, for example, in this case, which catchments are more, there is more precipitation, annual precipitation on average than others. So there are many, and one of the main outcomes with QGIS is the mapping. That basically what Piniam has shown in detail in the last part of the last module of the training. It's really powerful, the mapping, because you can really add and customize the way you like. But as Biniam was properly saying, usually you need to add a proper legend, a proper scale bar, and a proper grid.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I just lost even the power at the end of the course.
No worry.
Yeah.
So
I hope any question?
So,
Anyone?
Biniam, I just wanted to comment, Tadela map, for example, which is pretty good. But for example, you are showing like numbers on the catchments, which are basically the average precipitation in each catchment. So in a map like this, I would add in the legend, a description of what we can see. So RF5 precipitation, and then maybe into brackets, I would add average annual precipitation in millimeters per year. So at the end, the map should be self-explanatory, and if you put there some numbers, without either you add a note or you add in the legend, you need to explain. That's all. I mean, this is a general comment that we need to take into account while making maps. For example, the one that Biniam is showing now, it is actually self-explanatory because it's just visualizing areas and names. So I would say there is no need to provide further indications in the legend. But whenever we add like colors or numbers, we need to be sure that our legend is self-explanatory with units of measure, if possible. Yeah, this was my only comment on this.
Here in the source, you can double click on the layer. What he said is you can double click on the layer and then source era 5 precipitation in bracket millimeter per year, like this. And okay, then you will see it. So you will get this description in the legend if you are using this one. Okay, let's say now if I deselect this one and select this and open the layout, this precipitation map, then you can see in the description of the legend with this millimeter per year. Okay, so once you change this in the layout in the layers list, that means you are changing in the legend. Okay, so everything is depend on the text you wrote here in the layer list. Okay, so the legend is related to the layer text here.
Thank you, Binyam.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Nahid. Okay. Yes, it's incomplete, but working on it. Yeah, two scale bars and two north arrow, and the boundary, the catchment are not visible, and some data are to these things, but then you will get a better map. So please work on it. So just to remind you, please follow this QGIS user guide. It has many things in it, so you have to see it whenever it is necessary. So it has many documents, okay, related to what you would like to do, especially now for working on vector data layout, laying out the maps. Okay, it is 22. So here,
Okay, Binyam, do you have any other topic that you wanted to cover, or I guess you have basically covered all the topics you wanted? Is it? Binyam, are you there? Yes, we are missing him, probably. Yeah. Yeah. So while we wait for Binyam, I think it's time for closing in a few minutes. So I hope these 2 days on QGIS were really useful. For water resources engineers, QGIS is an incredible tool. I mean, I personally use more QGIS than hydrological or hydraulic modeling. I mean, because I use QGIS every day. So it looks like, at least for us, it's an incredible tool. And so I hope you could get an initial grasp for those of you who were not familiar with it, and a sort of recap of basic basic operations that can be done under QGIS for those that had already some experience with it. But definitely, as Biniam was suggesting, please take a look at the QGIS online manual because it's really very, very comprehensive, and you can definitely improve a lot your skills. Looking at all the topics and examples and workshops that are available here online.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Sorry for my internet interruptions. So here you can even get this about the scale bar, whatever the items in layouts. Okay. I hope this is all. And if you have a very final question, please ask. And if not, I concluded my training for these 2 days. The basic one, very basic training of QGIS. I hope you followed me and you've got some skill on this and you fill the gaps. I think something that I can say is you fill the gap. Yeah.
Yes, Biniam, you're right. And I have to say that, yeah, let's thanks all the participants because we know it's difficult. I keep saying it, but there was quite a lot of interaction during these two days. So thanks for those of you that were able to interact and to share maps and screenshots of your monitor when things were not working. So that was really, really helpful for all of us, I guess. Zerihun, you have your hand raised, so please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, before we close, I just want to make a small remark about completing the participant list. So for those of you who have not done it yet, please complete the form and thank you. That's all what I want to say.
Okay, thank you, Zerihun. So we are having a little bit of a break in the next couple of weeks. At least in Italy, we are having some holidays. But next training in the program is on the 8th and 9th of January. And it will be focused on HMS, so hydrological modeling. Yeah, so we'll have the chance also to see how we use HMS to derive catchments, rivers. So the question that our colleague made this morning, among the other things, because we'll try to see in at least the basic operations to start and develop a hydrological model. So this is yeah. So we'll share in due time with you again a link for the virtual meeting and some training material. And we look forward to meet you there. So in 2 weeks from now, basically. So I would like to thank you, Biniam.
Yes, Paulo. So before
Muna, please.
closing, there is some hands from Muhammad, and I don't know. Muhammad Adil, do you raise your? Are you
Yes,
raising
right.
your
Yes.
hand?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Muna and Biniam and all of you for this opportunity. So and also Paulo and the other colleagues, I wish you enjoyable holidays. But actually, I have a suggestion regarding the Teams link because it will take a lot of time until to the 8th of January. So maybe someone will forget the time or something. So I suggest that you can make it like an invitation. So it will be directly embedded in the calendar of the email, and then the calendar will remind us about the meeting and so on. So it's just a suggestion so that you can make it like
thank you.
like
No,
an
thank you.
invitation.
It's a definitely a good suggestion. So we will do that now that we have all the emails of all the participants. Yeah, we'll do that. So thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Benjamin, Paulo, and participants. And I wish you Merry Christmas for whom who observe this day, and Happy New Year. And really, it was very, very interesting training, and please keep this momentum until we finish all these very important modules. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mona. The same to you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye.